I'm Natalie Dadamio, and this week's video is all about letting out the silly. Because why should we be serious? People have a misconception. I'm very deep, but I'm also very playful and fun, and that's what this week's video is all about in regards to opening up to more sides in our creative practice. We're going to be making some silly faces and just having fun, and I'm going to be talking to whatever's arising in the moment because that's how I operate. And I trust that a lot more these days. So I'm Natalie Dadamio. I'm a mixed media artist, soulful guide and creative, lover of all expressions, and this channel is all about finding more freedom in art and life. So let's get started. Okay, so this video is just coming out of pure silliness. Want to show you was just like having fun this morning and making these faces. So this is expressive and raw. It's really just kind of opening up that inner silliness and weird and strange and kind of like letting it be what it wants to be. And that's hard to do because especially if we think we have to pigeonhole ourselves into one direction or, like I only do this kind of art, and then but when we don't allow the channels to flow, I feel like then we get blocked up in other ways. And that's like in art and life. Of course, this might not be interesting to you, but I want to make a video about it because it's interesting to me. So I just have some Canson 9x12 watercolor paper. I probably use that paper the most. It's easy to obtain. You get a lot of sheets. It's economical. It's acid free. It's not gonna deteriorate. And then just some like bits of soft pastel and these are neo colors, little bits. And then this is a King Art gel stick. Those are really nice. The only thing I don't like about them is they tend to wear out fast. I just wish they were longer. I wish there was more like, more stick than, there's more plastic than there is the, material. That's just how it is. I think in order to turn it, maybe they can't make it that big. Anyway, but so I'm gonna just do these drawings. Maybe I'll do like 3 of them and then I'll talk it through, I guess. I'll talk about what it means to just like open up to another side. Oftentimes there's this taboo inside of ourselves. Because maybe you want to do something strange in art. And it doesn't have like a context. So we kind of like turn away from that. But there's so much that can be like learned from like, entering into an expression. I don't know. The basic premise today is like, I just want to make faces. And I guess this is the way I would do it. Maybe I'm working out all my emotional states. There's something that I always loved about, like, say, neo-expressionism and a more raw style. So I think that's innately in me, actually. I don't know why, but I just like the rawness of it all. And I find it easier to just go to this place and be like weird or whatever. But it's not always easy to like rectify like how that should be, how does it all go together what I'm trying to move away from in art and life is worrying about how it fits together, and doing what's like makes me happy and what's most interesting to me. And like allowing myself to explore without the limitations is what I'm trying to say, because all the limitations is just something someone else has said, right? Someone else has decided how it should be, but I don't think ultimately that's what about art, being an artist is, not at least for me. And art and creativity is about your inner exploration. And deciding what's most interesting to you. And I get it, this isn't going to be interesting to a lot of people probably. I think that's the risk, right? And that's the risk in art, especially when you want to veer off of what's the mainstream, or you really just want to make these because it's fun. So I just want to make this video and give you an idea of it doesn't have to be so serious. How do we have the most fun, Well, we open up to the side, and then, in time, then maybe we start to do something else. But what I found over the years is when I resisted this side, which I still can resist it, right? So, and maybe I've secretly done this, right, in private, because I'm like, I don't know how it fits together, and what are people gonna say, or I don't know. We can do that in life too. We worry about making that strong choice, and we run away from things because, it's sometimes easier to hide it, but what happens when we open up to what wants to be expressed? That's what I'm most interested in going forward on this channel, in my life. Not shying away from all expressions. And what I want to teach, I want to encourage you to, find your own way and do what's most interesting to you. Sometimes I'm just grabbing some white paint and then putting this on. But that's one, and I would call it done. I'm just thinking about, color relationships, but very loosely, and then I'm just diving into this moment and letting it be weird and silly, right? Letting it be silly. And this doesn't mean, it doesn't mean it's better or worse, right? Or lesser or greater. It just is an expression. And I think what is wrong with a lot of things is that there's these judgments on you can only do one thing, but as multidimensional people there's way more expressions that want to emerge, I think, from in all kinds of ways. And I think for a while I judged myself a lot, if I do these weird expressions, just because it kind of, well, not it went against my spiritual belief, but I'm I need to be a serious artist. And I am kind of serious, but I'm also, as much as I'm serious, I'm silly. And I wanted to show you this idea, because we can access more of ourselves in the process, through the creative process, through just allowing ourselves to have a moment. and kind of dropping that judgment, which is like an extremely hard to do, not just in art but in life, because we've listened to what so many people have said and we've stopped listening to ourselves ultimately. So it's like, where do you want to go? And yeah, I know it might not make sense, and it might be you know, I don't know. Probably not a lot of people would accept this style. Let me know. I think that's what's hard, right? Like when you, like I said, veer off from the path, and want to be a little bit more expressive, or say there's like these, you're most interested in doing XYZ, whatever that is, and you don't follow that because of the fear of what is inside of you and the fear of what someone else might say, right? Because we come into that judgment. But you could see it's just about having fun in the moment. And like enjoying the creative process. And kind of just flowing with that. So I think the more we allow ourselves to go to these spaces, the more we can open up in different kinds of ways. And who knows, like, I think I always like to say one thing does inform another thing. So if you give yourself the opportunity to land here, then you don't know like what kind of door that's gonna open in the future. Yeah. I just kind of thinking about color, and maybe I don't want to fill in every piece, but kind of try to have, you know, all the colors present in some way. So it builds its own relationship. Now I have to say that this is more of like an experiment because I haven't really been making a lot of these faces in a long time, so it's interesting to see the sophistication in it though. I used to hate that word sophistication, but I realized over time that actually everything becomes more sophisticated the more like skills you learn, and then the more you're able to let go into that. Even something silly kind of has more of a sophistication to it, which is like strange to notice because I always hated that word. You just get more sensitive to the way you express something on the page, and you just decide, right? Your choices become easier. And in deciding to do this idea, like, it could be a little bit silly, and I kind of probably am worried about, well, is anyone gonna like this, you know? But the thing is, like, I'm most interested in this moment because it just arose from out of nowhere today. And then I'm like, oh, this would just be a fun video to make. So essentially with this gel stick, and you could probably do this with like a Sharpie or even black ink or a black pencil to start. I'm just like kind of implying like the idea of faces and mouths. But letting it really be loose. So this is just a continuous line drawing where I didn't pick up the the gel stick. I just let it be one shape. So it's just like seeing the positive and negative spaces, right? But we're just going to color in. There's something about allowing yourself the freedom and the opportunity to just be silly. That really opens us up to play. I think sometimes people just try to play from nothing, but really you want to introduce like a silliness or something absurd to open up the channels, because now you even have less attachment to what it is, right? Anyway, if it can be something silly, then it doesn't have to be serious, so that we don't get like locked up in thinking, oh, this has to look like something, because it can just be playful and fun and lighthearted, even though some of these maybe look a little ominous. That's another thing, like I could judge what's coming out, and maybe I am a little, but actually I'm really just having fun. It's making me laugh, and it's kind of awakening this part inside of me that I don't often go to, right? Or maybe I'm even scared to share it because I don't know how it will be received, you know, because whoa, is this not art? Is, you know, all those things can get in the way of our thinking. So then we might never even go to a certain place or space inside of us because we worry too much about how it's going to look. And I hope you guys are picking up on those deeper lessons that I'm teaching through that understanding, because there's a lot there that we do in life. We don't like move forward with something because we're scared of the appearance of how it's going to be often, or you know, there's some kind of rule or structure that once we start to defy it, it kind of goes outside the norm of what's acceptable, and then that like can be scary. But ultimately, art and creativity is about just enjoying the moment and like allowing yourself to go to these other places and spaces. And like giving yourself an experience. I'm trying to just want to keep some of the colors So the thing is, it's multi-dimensional, it's multi-layered. We can have more than one interest, right? I don't know why people say there only has to be this one way, because that's not true. I think it's just marketed and sold to us that way. And I get it, like sometimes it's helpful to have a parameter, but the thing is, if you're interested about exploring all sides and creative expression and opening up to more, there's a lot to explore. So why my thing is, why limit ourselves, you know? Because in the end, who are you doing it for? Are you doing it for yourself? Or are you just doing it to like appease something that you're attached to? Or because it sells? Or, you know, you could fall into that real easy. Are you doing it because that's just the traditional way that everyone's done it for years? But that's not really innovation, you know? At least not to me. And not only that, it's just not allowing yourself to go to a place because of the fear, right? Or it might be too weird or too silly, or like it needs to be serious. But it's just like a moment in time, right? And you can always have another moment, and you can always open up to more. So I hope you enjoyed getting silly with me, and that this video like allowed you to think about what you might want to open up more to in your art practice, in your creative expression, in your life even, because you know, why hide the magic? It's time. There's many ways you could support this channel, support me. If you're not a subscriber, become a subscriber if you like what's going on here. There'll be more silliness and fun, and of course deep thought. I'm not going to leave that out. And, you know, consider making a donation, any dollar amount, through my PayPal. The link is below in the comments. If I've ever helped you out in the last 6 years, anywhere online, in any kind of way, you know, every little bit counts. And when you help me, I can grow this vision even larger, and I see it being very large right now. But I'm at the baby beginning, and I could use that help to keep going, you know. There's also, you could buy my artwork. I have a great summer sale on the 100-day project right now. All works are $100. They're size 18-inch by 12-inch and they're on paper. And that summer sale will be happening all summer. $100 for something that normally would be $300. So pick up 3. It'll make a nice triptych, you know, or maybe 6 or 9. You get the idea. So thank you for traveling with me. It's all about a colorful creation and the celebration of that in art and life. And that's exciting because, you know, we don't have to look at it as any one way. There can be a multiple myriad of ways, and it's more fun to like be in all of those little places and spaces and come out into all the expressions. And that really can enhance your life. And then it could also change the artwork, so there's like a direct reflection going on, and we're constantly coming into communication and connection with that energetic presence of everything. And that's, to me, like what abstraction is like being connected into the energetic elements of it all. But that's the way I interpret it. There's many ways to look at it, but this is what's happening here. So thanks for hanging out.